Really easy strength progression, step loading. I did a really long video on this, and it was like a 30-minute long video, and I decided no one wants to listen to 30 minutes of me describing how to do step loading, because you can look it up, and you can read it in a fraction of that time. So instead, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just jump straight into things and tell you the easiest way to do this, and I'm going to point something out to you. Everyone thinks that there was these like really complex programs. Everyone wants to train like an elite athlete. But no one actually wants to train like an elite athlete, because this is how elite athletes train, and it's boring. Everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift heavy weights. Everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to eat chicken and rice for 8 meals a day. Everyone wants to be an elite athlete, but no one wants to actually train like an elite athlete. So here's a really easy progression. The Soviets used to do this, which tells you that it must be perfect. Not really. There's like more than one way to skin a cat, obviously. I'm not someone who believes that there's only one way to program. If you know me, you know that all of my programs look completely different. I don't have any two athletes following the same program. I don't do cookie cutter programs, ever. Everything is designed for that specific athlete, and I look at how they perform, I look at what they do well at, and then I do more of that. So if they excel at sets of 3, we're going to do more sets of 3. If sets of 12 work really well for them, we're going to do sets of 12. Like, there isn't a one way to do this. Some people respond very well to intensity. Some people respond better to volume. So this is for those of you, though, who want a simple program and a simple progression. We're going to choose squats. Okay? So I want you to take 70 to 75% of your 1 rep max. So whatever that is, okay? And you're going to do singles with that. Oh, what the hell? We're going to do singles? Yes, you're going to do singles. Now, I have a reason for this, and you'll understand in a minute. So those singles are going to sort of feed as a feeder set. They're gonna work to kind of stimulate your body, and I find this to be very effective. For myself, especially, I don't do well to just come in and be like, "Hey, 275 for 5 sets of 5." That doesn't ever go well for me. So what I do is I work up to like 275. I hit it for a single. I'll do like 295 for a single, maybe even 315 for a single, and then I'll drop back and do my 275 for 5 sets of 5, right? Something about hitting that heavy single that's heavier than my work set really helps me to like connect and dial in. I get into like a mental state. So now when I move back to the lighter weight that I have to do my work at, it's better. Now that's not a 1 rep max even. I'm saying, 365 is your 1 rep max. It's enough for me to do a single at 295 or 315 for a single before I drop back and do the 275. But here we're going to go with step loading here, and I'll give you exactly what I did. So I'm not saying this is the way you have to do it. This is the way I did it. So I worked up to 275. This is off of a 365 max as my squat. And this is what I did as my system to get to where I moved forward in this whole thing. You're going to take another step later on. So I would work up to 275, hit a single, and I would do singles at 275. Some days I did 5 singles. Some days I did as many as 8, 9 singles before I really felt dialed in. Okay, I have to feel it. I know that's not science-based, and it's not objective, and it's not quantifiable, but you know what? You know when you're in the zone, like you know when you're connected. So I would do singles at 275 till it just felt right. And then I would rest for like 3 to 4 minutes, just like totally clear myself, really get myself into like the right mental state. I'd get onto the bar, and then I would squat 275 for as many reps as I possibly can. So it's one really hard set, and it is either close to failure or to failure. There were more than a few times where I thought I think I have an 11th rep, and I didn't get it, okay? There were plenty of times where I got the 9th rep, and I was like, I don't know if I will get a 10, so I rack it there, okay? There were times where I went for 12, and I didn't get that 12th rep. I had to bail, right? And there were times where I did get that 12th rep, and I was like, I definitely don't have a 13th, and I racked it. Now this is what I did, and I did this over and over and over again, okay? So basically the same workout. So I would come in, work up to 275, and then I would do as many reps as I could at 275. Now mind you, I gave you the end result, which is where I'm doing like sets of 12 to 15. The first time I did it, I only got like 4 reps. So I did like 9 singles, and then I did 275 for 4. So the next week when I came back, I did 9 singles again, and I fought like hell to get a 5th rep. And then I did 9 singles, and I fought like hell to get a 6th rep. And then I feel like the next week I did like 6 or 7 singles, and I ended up getting 7 reps. So it was like, oh, maybe I don't need all 9, right? So I started playing around with it at that point. The point is that each week it came in, and I always knew I was going to squat 275 today. I'm going to squat 275 today, but I don't know how many reps I'm going to get on that final set. So I did 275, did several singles with it till I felt like I was amped up, and then one set where I just took it as far as I felt like I could take it that day. And you know, here's the deal, man. It's the rule of 5. Out of every 5 workouts, you're gonna have 1 workout that's really good. You're gonna have 3 that are just kind of, it's average, like you're just punching the clock, and you're gonna have 1 that's bad. And unfortunately, sometimes that lands on your squat day. So you have a shitty workout. Oh well, pick it up next week, you know, and you get back on track. The point being, okay, I did that for months on end. I don't know, 3 or 4 months in a row. And, you know, by the end of the 3rd month, I was consistently getting at least 10 reps at 275. Even on my bad workout, I was getting like 10 reps. So, you know, 8 singles, and then, you know, that final set, I get somewhere between 10 and 15 reps. This is step loading. Once I finally got to a point where I was consistently getting more than 12 reps, I just went and upped it, and I just made it, you know, 295. And I just did the same process all over again with 295. Once I got to a point where I was doing 295 consistently, I could get 10 reps even on my bad day, I made it 315. It's step loading. I just jumped up a step each time, right? And start back over doing singles, and then one set that's really hard, and then do it again. And that is just one of many ways to implement step loading. But I highly recommend this because it was very effective. And the nice thing about it is that you get very comfortable with that weight. It's like you really own that weight before you move up. So instead of coming in every week and trying to add another 5 pounds to the bar, you come in and hit the same weight every week, but you try to add a rep. And then once you get to a point where you're, you know, getting 10 reps on even on your bad day, you know, go ahead and add another 20 pounds. And I just feel like that's a really efficient way for people to train. It's just, I don't know. People used to do this all the time. Step loading used to be really popular. You guys can go look it up. Step loading. Like even T Nation has articles on it from years ago. The Soviets used to do this, step loading. Like this isn't something new. I didn't invent this. Alexander Bromley has a video on step loading. This is a great strategy. People used to use it all the time. Somehow people have forgotten about it. It's like fallen out of favor. No one does it anymore. It's kind of like escalating density training. Like that's a thing. People did that for a long time. I know people think Charles Staley invented it, but people were doing it long before Charles Staley. He just put a name on it. This is a great way for you to train. Step loading. Look it up, give it a try. If you give it a try and you find that it works great for you, please comment on the video. Tell other people why it worked for you and how you felt on it. But I just felt like this was a really great method, and I just gave you the most simplified version of it. Do you have to do 9 singles and then 1 set of crazy? No. You could do 3 singles and then go crazy on 1 set. You could do 5 singles and go crazy on 1 set. The point is you have that one really hard set, which kind of like reminds you of like Mike Mentzer or Dorian Yates, that one really hard set. So you do some singles till you get comfortable with the weight, you're warmed up, and then go really hard for 1 set. And it is massively, just super simple. Like you can't screw this up. It's, you come in and you do what you can. So on a day where you feel shitty, you do less, and on a day where you feel great, you do more. And I don't know. I just feel like I just need to talk about it because people somehow have forgotten about step loading. It's very effective. I like it. Give it a try.